How's it going, guys? Trader Neil here, back at you with another crypto video. So today we are going to be talking about a coin and a sector that has had a lot of strength in the market as of late, and I would like to see continue to do well. And I want to show you guys what that coin and that sector is and see if we can play this summer right in terms of crypto gains. But before I get started, guys, I would very much appreciate it, as always, if you all hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and of course turn your bell icon so you don't miss any of my future videos. Luckily, guys, this last video where I talked about another altcoin I'm buying, that altcoin got a nice little pump, but it is back to sitting around entry. So if you guys want to see what altcoin I was talking about in this video, definitely check this out. But yeah, before I just straight up jump into the altcoin I'm talking about, I think it's always important that we at least take a look at BTC here, guys. And so Bitcoin here on the 1 hour chart, just looking at it from strictly a technical analysis perspective, honestly, I am still looking for Bitcoin to get a push lower. As of recording this video, we have an hourly market structure break to the downside, and honestly, guys, I am expecting the possibility of a little relief coming up, especially if Bitcoin does close an hourly back above 106. But here's the thing, guys, as long as Bitcoin is failing to pretty much get back above these local highs from last night, around 108k, 108.5 or so, I do think downside risk is pretty high here. And honestly, looking at this chart, I still think these potential long scenarios that I'm looking at around the golden pocket of this range and at range lows, I think these are very much in play, and I would not discount them. You have a lot of confluence at these levels. You've got the golden pocket, you've got this wick from May 20th that I would definitely be looking at, and then of course you have your value area low coming in around 101k, going along with this bullish bat setup, this harmonic. So a lot of different things that I'm liking in this area, especially range lows. But in case we do put in a higher low, this is exactly those levels that I would be paying attention to. And then one more coin that I want to take a look at with you guys is a coin that I'm sure a lot of you all already know, especially those of you that have been paying attention to my channel for really like the past couple months here. It's Hyperliquid. And so Hyperliquid, guys, has been on an absolute tear. Even since my video last week, Hyperliquid has pumped pretty much like another 38% since there. And so since those levels that I mentioned for you guys to buy with me at if you wanted to get in, we ended up putting in nearly 100% move. And so I'm very, very happy about that. You know, overall in hype, I would like to see a sort of bottom form coming up in this area. You know, we already had 4-hour trend here reject bearishly once already, and so now this wick from pretty much last Saturday has been taken out, and I would like to see some buybacks start to happen here. Honestly, guys, I wouldn't like to see Hyperliquid come down and retest this consolidation region. I would like to see this area front ran. You know, we have a 4-hour demand zone around 31 bucks down to like 30 that I would for sure be looking to pick some up at, and this is exactly where I'd want to see some sort of a higher low. And so especially if we get one more spike down, I think we could form some 4-hour bullish divergence. You already have hourly bullish divergence here on Hyperliquid, so these are things that I am liking what I'm seeing in terms of that. So just even like a little bit lower would get me to start, let's say, wanting to accumulate my bags again. All right, guys, but we aren't here to really talk about Bitcoin and hype as much as this one coin and sector that I am interested in at the moment with how things are shaping up. And so if you guys want to know what that coin is, what that sector is, definitely stick around. But real quick, guys, I got a word from my sponsors here. All right, guys, so we're going to be talking about my sponsor Breakout prop firm really quick, guys. Are you someone in crypto that has had a lack of liquidity? You're seeing all these P&Ls posted on Twitter. Your friends are flexing their P&Ls. They're flexing their dollar P&Ls. And you just want to get into that game and you want to be flexing your own P&Ls. Well, fear no more. Breakout Prop Firm is going to be that prop firm that will help you do exactly that. Because with Breakout, guys, this is essentially your way of playing with someone else's money. In fact, for just 800 bucks with a one-step evaluation, you can potentially start trading with up to $100,000 of an account size here, guys. With 100K, you could be trading big money with only putting up small risk here, guys. And in my opinion, that is the best thing you can be doing. All you have to do with buying the evaluation is past the 10K account goal, or if you get any of the smaller accounts past those account goals, all you have to do is trade to that amount. Boom, you hit that amount and bam, you get $100,000 of money to play with, and then you can have that money to be able to trade anytime. All you have to do is follow the max daily loss and max drawdown parameters, but you can trade up to 5x leverage, guys. They have tons of coins on their exchange. As you guys can see, they've got Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, and they've got tons of altcoins. They list altcoins pretty much the day that they come out. And so if you guys want to trade with up to $100,000 of someone else's money and be able to trade those altcoins we'll be talking about in the rest of the video today, definitely check out Breakout Prop Firm. Here's the URL, and then use my code in the top right here to be able to get a nice discount on your evaluation. Definitely worth it, and then let me know how you guys like Breakout in the comment section below. Alright guys, back to the video. Welcome back. So the coin and the ecosystem that I am looking at, guys, that I am putting my emphasis on today is the Ethereum ecosystem and Ethereum itself. And so I know Ethereum has been, let's say, quite the shitcoin as of late, as of the last, like, let's say, really 6 months now, guys. You know, ever since this downtrend began on ETH back in December, this thing has gone down 62%, and Ethereum has disappointed a lot of people. But what I will say is Ethereum has been on a bit of a hot streak over the last couple weeks. Ethereum has put in an 82% move so far on this rally. And honestly, guys, I am liking what I'm seeing, especially on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. So this is definitely one to start paying attention to. Ethereum Bitcoin here, guys, if I do pull up this sort of parabola, this parabola on Ethereum Bitcoin has finally broke bullish for the first time really since this entire downtrend began in February 22. So this has been a multi-year downtrend that is finally starting to break back to the upside, which I love to see. And honestly, overall, here on Ethereum BTC, we have a rejection here at this daily level at the top side of our range, which isn't super surprising. Of course, would it have been better to see that level cracked and for a test of the daily 200 moving average to have happened? Yes, it would have, of course, but at the same time, do I think this can still come down and retest the bottom side of our range? Maybe even consolidate a little more before going higher? I think that would be totally fine. Seeing something like this, a bounce to the bottom side of our range, maybe even something like that over time, a little over summer chop. Even if this happens, guys, this would be totally fine. Ethereum doesn't have to break out and immediately push to the upside from here. This could easily chop around, but I would like to see this break of downtrend continue over time. Even if consolidation happens here, I would like to see a nice daily uptrend form here. And honestly, with this break so far, this is very possible, and I do think Ethereum could outperform based off of that. And then looking at the Ethereum chart here as well, guys, I am liking what I'm seeing here. Short term though, we haven't had a daily close above the daily 200 moving average here. This is really big. We need to see a daily close above the 200 moving average here for price action to continue to the upside. We got very close to this daily resistance level that just missed last night, and this breakout unfortunately has failed that Ethereum tried to put in overnight. And so I think it's very possible that Ethereum at this point, if it cannot hold 4-hour trend here, which it is for now, but if it cannot hold 4-hour trend, then I would be looking for Ethereum to put in a move at least to the middle of this range so far. And the mid range is coming in at this 4-hour order block here around 25.50 or so. So I would be looking at this level next, and if not that, back to the bottom side of the range potentially. But at the same time, Ethereum is putting in higher highs in this range and has a sort of, you could consider it to be a bit of an ascending triangle setup here, which usually break bullish. And so if Ethereum can get another push up and break back above 2720 or so, then I do think this has a pretty good chance of breaking to the upside, especially like I mentioned earlier, a close above the 200 moving average on the daily would have me quite bullish again on Ethereum. If you look left, guys, that is pretty much like your trigger for a lot higher prices on ETH. Say for example, back here on Ethereum during the breakout here on the bear market of October 2023, the break and close above the daily 200 moving average took you over time another 130% up. Over here in last November, a break above the daily 200 brought you back up another 37%. And then even if you scroll back, guys, you're going to see similar things. Breaking above the daily 200 puts in a nice uptrend, etc., etc. And so here's the thing. If Ethereum can crack above the daily 200 again, I do think there's a very large chance Ethereum can get in a move at least to about 3,300 to this daily order block up here. And that's exactly where I'd be looking at. If I take a fib pull from our current highs from last December to our lows, we have a big amount of resistances from about 3,000 bucks up to 3,300. So this is exactly where I would personally be looking for rejection if we crack above the daily 200. So far, like I said, it hasn't happened yet, but that's exactly what I would want to see for higher prices. And of course, guys, you guys can look down this list of Ethereum betas as well. Definitely start looking at some of these because these have been strong. Now, I wouldn't say for the most part, but a couple of these have put in some insane moves. Aave, for example, has put in a beautiful, beautiful move from its lows down here from pretty much the beginning of April to current price, put in 131% move. I actually gave my students in my Discord the Pico bottom of Aave here at 112, literally the night BTC went to $74,000, and so they got in at a beautiful price point. And so again, guys, if you want to join my free Discord, you can check that out in the link tree in the description below. But yeah, Aave is a great one to be looking at if you are wanting to play ETH betas here, guys. And I would say that at the moment, Aave is getting rejected by a big daily resistance level. As you guys can see, this was your last resistance level before price came down pretty heavily on Aave. So until you get a daily close back above 278, I think upside is a bit capped here. But what I will say is Aave has cracked above the daily 200 moving average, and I do think this could be a potentially really nice buy if you get a move down to about 231, this next SR level. So I'd be very, very interested on Aave if it does get a move down there. And stuff like Pepe coin, another one to definitely take a look at. Pepe has put in a beautiful move from these lows here so far and is cracked above the daily 200 as well and your value area high of this range. So definitely keep an eye on Pepe. A lot of these coins could still potentially come down, get some pullbacks, guys. Pepe, for example, has a drive here of daily bearish divergence, so it's very possible you see this thing come down, potentially put in a retest and see where things go from there, and that would be totally fine. Am I saying to buy any of these coins right now? Of course not. I'm not recommending anything, but at the same time, would I be watching for potential pullbacks to be able to pick up some cheap coins, especially in ecosystems like Ethereum that have started to show some life again? Of course, and that's what that is what I am personally doing. Another one that's looking pretty good that has put in a nice move from the bottom, ENS. This one, if it does come back down to retest this daily consolidation zone around 19 bucks, definitely has my interest. And then lastly, the one I'll go over with you guys is MakerDAO here. Maker is a nice looking coin. I actually gave this long setup yesterday for the boys in the Discord, and we printed hard, already hit TP1 on the maker long, and then this thing is looking pretty good from a higher time frame perspective, guys. Daily, the uptrend is still holding. You have a nice RSI reset at the 50 level, and then locally, guys, if you look at maker on the 4 hour here, yes, you may have had a fake out so far, but you do have a nice looking falling wedge setup here as well, and these usually break bullish to the upside, guys. So what I would say on maker is, if this thing can hold these lows around 1650, I honestly think one more break here, one more tap of this supply line, and potentially a move back above like 1700, I think you could get the real move up, and that would coincide pretty well with Ethereum also getting a move back above 2720 again. So a lot of these all go together, guys. Things like Ethereum breaking above 2720 again, things like maker breaking above 1707, things like Aave potentially getting back above 278. All of these things probably happen in tandem, or they don't happen at all locally. So what I would be doing, guys, is just keeping an eye on Ethereum, because it's going to be the main driver for a lot of the altcoin sector, guys. Honestly, this Ethereum Bitcoin chart, this is going to be huge for the altcoin sector. You really want to see this continue to at least hold strong, or even break out, for altcoins to break out. And so that's pretty much my thoughts here, guys. And then I'll leave you lastly with our altcoin season index here. And so I've been talking about this chart for literally like 3-4 months now, guys. We finally have put in a nice consolidation zone around the Bitcoin season area, and at this point, like, whenever I see this chart spend a lot of time in the Bitcoin season area, I usually am gonna start to get a lot more bullish on alts, because this is pretty much just a mean reversion chart, guys. You hang out at one end, and then you usually get a push to that altcoin season index at the top side of the range over enough time. So whenever Bitcoin season, whenever coins are just hanging out here, this is exactly where you want to start picking up altcoins for that inevitable push back up to the altcoin season area. I'm not talking about any sort of like prolonged altcoin season that lasts for months and months and months, that every single altcoin goes to Valhalla, you're going to be able to sell your bags 5 to 10x up. That's a pipe dream, guys. We don't need to think about that. You don't even have to, even if it happens, like, that would be of course fantastic, but at the same time, should you be putting all your chips in the basket hoping that everything 5-10x's at some point? I personally am not. In my opinion, just waiting for a pop-up back to this altcoin season area, which at least happens like twice a year. As you guys can see, every single year this happens. This chart pops up to altcoin season pretty much twice a year. And so far, guys, we haven't had a pop-up this year. So I do think that's going to happen at some point. I don't know when it's going to happen, but we have had consolidation in this zone for a while now. So I am getting excited for another move back to that upside area. And, you know, if it's a good time to accumulate altcoins, we will see what happens over the next coming weeks. So that's all I got for this video, guys. Let's see if we can print and get a couple of these buy opportunities to come up. This is Trader Neil signing out. If you guys stuck around till the end of the video, I would very much appreciate it if you left a comment in the comment section below, alt season, because we all love a good alt season. Let's see if we can push those coins up. All right, guys, Trader Neil signing out. I'll talk to you guys very soon. Peace.